True comedy is rare in today's cancel culture. It's almost entirely extinct, but it's not completely dead. Comedian Ryan Long tapped into the hilarity of ridiculing woke America. Ryan goes viral every single week with a new sketch, often mocking the protected classes of people you're not allowed to make fun of, okay? To give you a flavor of Ryan's comedy, you have to watch this sketch, Woke versus Racist.
When me and Brad first met, I didn't think we'd get along, but turns out we kind of agree on everything. Your racial identity is the most important thing. Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of opinions about people of color, even though we barely know any.
I say colored people, but as long as we're classifying them, we both think minorities are a united group who think the same and act the same.
And vote the same. You don't want to lose your black card. Sorry, I don't know. I just think we should roll back discrimination laws so we can hire based on race again.
Jinx, now you owe me a Coke. Hey, tell them what you told me yesterday.
White actors should only do voices for white cartoon characters.
I've been saying that for years. Stick to your own.
Us white people, we have so much privilege.
I agree. It is a privilege to be white.
Ryan joins us now from a place of privilege. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. A place of not COVID privilege because I'm in New York City right now. Also, you guys have very impressive graphics. I was watching that being like, oh, my graphics suck, dude.
Oh, well, not the graphics on your graphic tee and not the graphics on your incredible comedy sketches. Okay, so first off, this is the bravest thing you can do. The bravest thing you can do is actual woke comedy, based comedy, comedy that attacks groups that you're not allowed to attack. And that's what you do in these kind of segments, and you go insanely viral every time you do it. So what is it in you that inspired this bravery? Where did this start from?
I guess I don't. Thank you. I'm very stunning and brave. I appreciate that out of the gate. Let the record state. Basically, it goes like a U.S. veteran, and then I think it's me a little higher than that. So I appreciate you recognizing that. Well, I just been doing comedy for a long time, and I guess I don't see it like that. So, because I just make stuff that I think is funny, and when you're in the comedy clubs, you know, you test out stuff, you find jokes that are funny, and then you kind of act, and then other people will go, how can you say that? And I go, I don't know, it seems to be funny to me. See, I think that I'm just kind of, a lot of the stuff I say is the same thing that like a group of guys says when no one's watching. So there is right now what you can and can't say, but I think in comedy clubs, comedy was always like, you have a conscience and you make jokes that you think are funny that you can live with, and sometimes you cross that line and go back. Then the audience laughs at what they think is funny and what they kind of mix with their conscience. There is a new thing today where people want to add in like a third component where they'll go, yeah, you made the joke, they laughed, but we want to referee it from the sidelines and we're not even part of this. So I think that's the part that probably you're talking about that everyone has a problem with, where they go, yeah, we know everyone's having fun, but we want to take the ball and go home.
The reason I asked that, and the reason I would call it bravery on a cultural level, is that people get canceled for this. You know, you watch other comedians like Kevin Hart lose his Oscars hosting gigs because he told jokes that offended certain classes. I mean, are you scared of getting canceled?
Well, I don't have a job, so that helps. You'll be like, well, they're going to take my stuff away. And you go, what stuff? And I think that's kind of what happens with, you know, all cultural movement stuff. Like if you look at, even I always kind of say, if you look at hip hop in a certain time when the industry was like, oh, we don't want to touch that. And now there's a lot of billionaires, you know, that kind of made all the money off that were rappers, right? And right now, yeah, the industry has like, oh, we're going to only do the right thing. And progressively every good comedian has kind of left that system. So I think there's a lot of, you know, super funny comics that are out there making funny stuff and doing stand up every night and making people laugh. So if the industry doesn't want to, you know, kind of be part of that, everyone's building their own little empires right now. And I think eventually you get to a point where it's like, now everyone's very successful and you go, why would I even want to do that? So they're like, oh, if you don't subscribe to all our things, then you won't be able to be in this. And I go, yeah, and if I subscribe to all your things, I won't be funny. Plus your thing sucks.
Ryan, we're almost out of time here. Do you have any words? I know you have an incredible sketch about Vice reporters. If there's a Vice reporter watching this right now to write a hit job on you, do you have any words for them?
Vice is the funniest one. I'll tell you this quick, but I did an interview when I was in Canada. They brought me in once. We were going to talk about making a TV show, and it was about like music bands and stuff, like we're talking about. But they, the guy goes, "Would you be able to do anything about refugees? Refugees are like really hot right now." And that's that's where I was like, these guys are cooked. So the guy at Vice told me refugees are really hot right now, and I always laugh at that. But yeah, youtube.com/Ryan Long Comedy. New sketch every Monday.
Amazing. Keep going. We're behind
Thanks,
you, dude.
man.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me. I appreciate
seriously,
it.
we need you out there, dude. We love it. We
Yeah,
look
go to
forward it
comedy
every week.
clubs, man. There's a lot of good people. Don't always listen to what's going on the internet. There's a lot of people doing really funny comedy that, you know, and most people aren't as crazy as they seem on the internet, as the little group of people that's representing them.
Thank you, Ryan. Stunning
Thanks,
and brave.
buddy. Appreciate
so
it.
stunning, so brave.
Thanks, dude.